Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to my home, first home in America. Thank you for so interested about Angel Island Immigration Station. Does anyone know about the history of the station? Well, the station started way back in 1910 till about 1940. The place is closed, but the memory we still have ring over. About the Chinese immigrants that were detained and held while they are listeners waiting. Detained immigrants to see if they could stay here or be shipping back home or deport. Okay, thank you. I am at Angel Island Immigration Station, and immigrants that one. That's okay. Well, thank you. I was at station right here at the immigration station as a docent for many years. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about my experience when I was detaining in this barrack. I left my village back in China back in 1937 when I was 16 years old. I left behind my mother, my brother, my classmate, and friends. I came to America because my father was already here, and he wanted me to join him. It took 22 days by boat from Hong Kong to San Francisco. When I landed in San Francisco, they would transfer me to a ferry and took me out to Angel Island Immigration Station. There were armed guards waiting at the dock. It took us to... No, it's okay, no, it'll be better. It took us to the hospital for a physical examination. After the humiliation examination among strangers, the guards led us to the detention barrack. As at the porch, they separated us, the men and women and children, from everybody. When I was 16, I was pointed in a direction to go to the men's quarter. When everyone got into their quarter, the doors were closed and locked from the outside. We were locked in this barrack day and night. As you can see, look up the detention barrack, you can see the outside. There was barbed wires all around the building and no way out. There's only one way in, and that's it. Okay. Now, when we're in there, the guard will lock us in. The only time they will open up is for coming down for meal. Talking about meals, well, we have no choice. We eat, yes, Chinese food, but there's only one main dish, and the rest of them is vegetable and rice. Of course, the main dish, it could be anything. That dish does not have a second. So when we eat that as fast as we can. After we finish eating, we will return it back to the barrack, and the guard will lock it from behind. Again, we will lock in all day and night. During the afternoon, we can come outside and enjoy, get some fresh air and exercise. And enjoy the fresh air, that's good. Not too much time we have that. Inside the men's quarter, we have music, we have the board game to pass the time. The only other time the door was open for occasionally weekday. This time, when a guard will come in the afternoon, call out a person's name, and they say, "Typho." That means the person was San Francisco bound, freedom, and a mission to America. I was held there for about 3.5 months at this building up there, the big building. And during that time, was held there for 3.5 months. And that was some of the immigrants was there more than 2 or 3 years. And well, in July that year, back is 1937, well, the door was open for me, and a guard come in and calling my name, and I was so happy running around in the men's quarter to say goodbye to my new friends. Yeah. Later that afternoon, the guard come back again and took me out to the ferry to Freedom. As I stepped off the ferry in San Francisco, my father was there to meet me. That was the first time I seen my father for more than 7 years. I returned to the Angel Island a half century later, back in 1991. There was a gentleman been working to get into organize to preserve this place. So he kept talking about it, and he wanted me to come back with him. I tell him, say, no, I don't want to come back to see that place again. So he kept trying until 1991. Until 1991, and then I finally, decided to come back. But before I did that, my family's already tricked me into to come back. And my grandson and grandchildren, they went down there and bought the ticket and brought me over here. When I got here, it was coincident the same day we have a field trip for children, in school children, a field trip. Well, that was the lucky one for me and my family, because I never told them about this place at all. So that day when we walked down from the barrack to outside, then my children were talking and asked me about it. So I told them the consumer, the answer I gave them. And so is the children tagged along. They say, okay, what's it all about? So I told them about the immigrant was staying right here at that time. So I found out all that. My children don't know anything about it. Little bit of it here and there. That's about it. The school children, of course, they don't know much about it. So they decide And then I decided for myself, I said, well, it's time for me to come back to my way. So back in 1991, I started to be a volunteer docent in the station. I stayed there on until 2005. And doing that every day. Not every day of the week, but at least 2 or 3 times a week to come over here. Huh? Yeah, no. One more please. So anyway, so I started and then came back to do that work. Okay, fine. And the reason I did that because I want the public to know more about the immigrant standing right here. And so as a docent, I have been sharing my experience with the group, visitor and station. People when they live here, they can understand and interpret it for themselves. We of the Angel Island Association feel it is important to share this history with the public, young and old, to ensure fair treatment for all people in the future. Thank you for allowing me to share with you my story. I hope you live here with a better understanding of the history immigration station. Thank you very much.